Hi everyone. I keep getting asked some of the same questions from friends and family, so anytime I seem to get a lot of questions around the same area of content, I like to just do a video so that I can share with more people at once. Everyone keeps asking me, how did we find a doctor after my husband was diagnosed with melanoma? I have a whole blog just on this and you should check it out, so subscribe so you can follow me. But I do have a blog on it because it was quite a thing. I mean, we were terrified. We had no idea. We didn't know where to turn, who to find, whether we could do it in our own state, if we had to go outside of our state. That can be overwhelming, I think, more than most of the parts of the process. Making sure you were in the right hands was probably one of the most difficult things we did. So I would say first breathe, slow down the process, because when I panicked and went fast, I made all kinds of errors. I think I signed us up to have appointments all over the place before even really considering who was the best in the field that we needed to be in. If there were things that were closer, so we didn't have to be driving more than a couple hours because we had young children in school. Everybody has their things to consider. But yeah, I think that starting by just slowing down the pace is the best thing you can do. Then on top of that, I think another thing that we really did that not everybody thinks to do is to just look. Go online. It's a great resource. And if you can just start your search by looking at local hospitals with specialties in XYZ, whatever your diagnosis is. If you're like us and you don't have a diagnosis, it makes things a lot harder, because then you have to really start considering, is there just a good cancer hospital that's good in all arenas? Is there, just really trustworthy physicians that we can start with? I do know that our local practitioners were just moving a little slower than the pace we wanted to be moving at. They wanted us in a couple weeks to set up, I think it was a dermatology appointment, just to have him skin checked. And it was like, to us in that moment, we needed to move fast. There was nothing that could just be like a slow pace thing. We wanted to get in right away. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think getting seen right away can be a great thing. So find somebody that can see you soon. But I think at that same time, you're not glued to the first person you see. So don't be afraid to shop around, so to speak. Any really good place with good doctors won't be afraid of that, because why should they be? They should be confident in their diagnosis, in the treatments they suggest. Our doctors actually encouraged it and helped us to set up appointments with other doctors who they knew might have even more experience or more options available, or better lab equipment available. I did talk again about this in the blog, but Sloan Kettering in New York is a great hospital for cancer, and they actually were able to take a look at our labs. That is a big bonus. I didn't know anything about that previous to Barry's situation. So what I will say is that a lot of the main hospitals, they will offer this as a service, that your hospital's labs can be sent out to them. So as soon as you've had a tumor removed, then that tissue can be sent to other hospitals for them to evaluate as well and give their 2 cents. So you don't even necessarily have to go get a visit. You don't have to change doctors. You can just send out whatever was taken, a tumor, have them, your own hospital will organize this. You don't have to be handling tumors and shipping and all of that. They did it for us. They had it sent out and kept some in-house as well, which served us well later. But anyway, so just the amount that needs to be sent out for them to evaluate. And then you can get that information. Sometimes it's just peace of mind, and that's worth a lot. So we did that. It did take a long time before we actually got the answers back, but I don't think that is a function of us not being a patient there or anything else. He just had a very complicated case with a very complicated cancer, and I think it took a lot of eyes on it. I really do. But in the end, all of them, Sloan Kettering, we also went to Tufts. That was our main spot. And like Dana-Farber, Mass General, we were at all the major places to begin with. We ended up at Dartmouth Hitchcock as well, up in Hanover. New Hampshire, there was so many big names that we just kind of bopped around to, and we never felt as though we were limited in our options there. So I don't think any good doctor will limit you or look at you in any different light if you choose to do that. So follow your gut on that one and shop around, but getting seen right away with the first person who's available is a great thing. But then at the same time, that doesn't mean you're glued to them throughout the duration of your experience. So I also worried about second opinions and costs because I wasn't sure if, cancer is expensive. And after you've gone through everything once, I was thinking, well, is our insurance even going to cover if we then have somebody else run all the same tests and do all the same stuff? For us, we never ended up getting faced with that. It might be because the deductible was met. Every insurance company is going to be so vastly different there that call your insurance company. I was so afraid to call them. I didn't want that to end up skewing what we decided to do. So we instead followed the path of just doing what we needed to do and looked into all of that after. That can be an option too if money's not an object for you, but if it is and it's something that you really need to consider in the process, then be sure to call them before you start looking for second opinions. But oftentimes that's something that is supported, and you can even talk to your current doctor's office about it and see if they're able to look into it for you. Things will be coming onto your plate nonstop, and so if anybody's willing to take a role like that on, I would take them up on it. However, the knowledge is power thing holds pretty true, and don't just sit there and wait, and if you haven't heard from anybody, not take action. You got to move kind of swiftly, but not panicking. There's some kind of balance and beauty in the middle where you're you're on top of it and moving quickly, but not in a way that makes your brain stay at the door, if you know what I mean. Mindless freaking out isn't going to help anything. But moving in a quick manner and making sure that you don't just sit back and wait for others to get back to you is also important. But that was just my 2 cents because everyone keeps asking me about doctors. How did you find yours? How can I find mine? It's going to be different all over the country, so there's no great, easy way to do it. But once you found your doctor's office or that you like or prefer, because let's say I'll take Dartmouth for instance. I knew that they were a great hospital, a lot of good doctors. Let's say I decided to go with them, then I would then go onto their website and you can find a doctor there. You can, there's usually a find a doctor search engine. I guess it's the best way to explain it, but you can just look through there and then it'll list specialties. So if one doctor is really more experienced with, say, melanoma versus another doctor who is more specifically, they do reconstructive surgeries or whatever, you can see that there. It should be listed out where their specialties lie. But another thing that's really helpful is just calling the hospital and saying, this is what we have, and we would like the best fit for whoever has the best, experience training in this area, because a lot of times there is one gateway person first, and then from there you go to the next tier of having another doctor look at it. But it's not easy. So definitely check out my blog. I went into a lot more detail there. I did list all of the hospitals that we used, if you're curious. Although, all around the country, it's going to be different. But I gave a lot of the right questions to ask on those first visits too. So if you're interested in this, you might love that information as well, because if you are already searching for your doctor, that is the perfect time to get my freebie, which is all of the questions to ask your doctor and all of the stuff to bring. Like, what do I have to bring to my appointment? Of course, you need to take your insurance card. Some things are obvious, other things not so obvious. And I have a few tips in there that people have thanked me over and over for giving them, because they never would have thought of it, and it has saved their family immensely. So I think it's worthy of checking out, and it's a freebie. You don't have to do anything but subscribe. And subscribing just means that you're going to kind of follow along with me, which means that as new blogs come out, I'll let you know. If I'm coming out with a new project, like a course or an ebook, I'll let you know. But if you ever want to unsubscribe, you can. So it's just win-win. You get a freebie and I get your email address. That's about it. And then we can start this together because, again, strength in numbers, strength with knowledge. And I just want to do this with you guys, help you out, save you some time and stress, really, and help you on your way. So take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
A sparrow with broken wings, but now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet.